Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, the place for internet technology professionals whose work-life balance plan has imploded. We are here to provide solutions that will help the IT pro live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Dr. Linda Berry empowers you to get out of pain now. She knows how because at 24 years old, she was paralyzed after crashing through a windshield. Dr. Linda's dream life as a modern dancer, choreographer, and purple belt in karate was ripped away. She rose up from her wheelchair to help others heal as a chiropractor, nutritionist, and trauma healing specialist. By listening today, you'll benefit from her extensive knowledge that spans centuries from ancient Taoism all the way up to today's cutting-edge medical therapies. For over 30 years, Dr. Linda has helped thousands get out of pain in private practice through speaking and group programs with her book, Internal Cleansing, and her CDs, Breast Health, as well as the Inner Smile Trilogy. Dr. Linda is an internationally known author. Her book, Internal Cleansing, was translated into Korean, and she's inspired audiences with her presentation and has been an invited guest on local and internet TV and radio, and has been featured on NPR, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox News. Welcome, Dr. Linda Berry.
85% of people suffer with chronic low back pain at some time in their life, and particularly people like you who sit for so many hours a day develop a problem. I've heard it said that sitting too long is the new smoking, that the Attorney General in the United States is warning people about that as a danger to their health. So I'm happy to be able to give you some tools and resources in order to reverse that danger to your health.
That's interesting. I did not know that about the comparison to smoking as being that bad of an issue.
Yeah. You know, we're designed for movement, human beings. Paleo men and women, you know, we were back living in the caves.
Right.
We used to roam and wander and run 20 to 30 miles a day. And I don't know how many kilometers that is, but I'm sure those with that metric system can do the math. Mm-hmm. My apologies being a dumb American. But now we just sit. The average American does less than a quarter of a mile a day. So that's extremely significant in terms of our health. One of the major issues is we're just not moving in the Earth's electromagnetic field anymore. So we used to walk barefoot or with moccasins on the Earth for 20 to 30 miles a day, and now we sit. So one of the things I'm extremely excited about to offer is a medical device used around the world that in only 8 minutes gives your body the same benefit as walking 20 to 30 miles a day. Pretty good, huh?
Well, it sounds great, yeah.
Compared to 20 to 30 miles, I don't even know how long that would take. I think it takes me about 20 minutes to walk a mile, so 20 times 20 is 400 minutes. You know, that's a significant difference in time, 8 minutes to 400 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And how would this benefit our IT professionals who sit in their office all day long, generally in front of the computer, which has many ills involved in it itself, just to stare at a screen?
Yeah, sure. So most people who use this device have it in their beds at home. So very simple. You just push a button, and in 8 minutes, you get these wonderful benefits. And then before you go to sleep at night, you push the button again, and in 8 minutes, it's helping you in that phase of your health. So you may know that during different times of the day, you're doing different things. So during the day, you're eating and you're thinking and you're moving about, not enough if you're sitting at a desk for 8 hours. But the blood goes to your brain and your muscles and your digestive system during the day.
Amazing.
So at night, the blood goes to your organs, to your skin and to your kidneys, your liver, your glands, like your pancreas, your adrenal gland, etc., and rejuvenates you while you sleep. So giving your body this extra boost of healing energy when you get up in the morning helps you to go throughout your day with better efforts. And at night, it helps you to restore and regenerate so that you can maybe live longer, but we know that you can be healthier even if you don't live longer. And actually, I just saw a white paper on how improving general circulation does improve longevity, or your lifespan. So if you're interested in living long, using this device could definitely help you achieve those goals.
Well, what can people use? I'm assuming the product that you're talking about costs a couple bucks.
Yeah, sure. It's like an investment, and certainly it costs something. We've figured out it costs something like 10 cents a day if you amortize it over 10 years. It's a lifetime investment.
I see.
But during the day, there are certainly things that you can do, and I'd like to share those with you as well.
That would be great, and I'm sure our audience would appreciate some free things that they can do maybe on the job or, during the lunch hour or something like that that would help them feel better.
Absolutely.
And stay healthy.
There's an author named Bob Anderson, and he's written books on stretching. And he has stretches for all different kinds of activities, including just sitting. So I would recommend him as a resource. His book has stretches for hiking and skiing and swimming and for sitting.
Wow.
So if you research that, I'm sure you could find it on Amazon, Bob Anderson Stretching. You could look through that and find the appropriate stretch for your different activities. One thing about stretching, you want to make sure that your body is warmed up when you stretch. So don't stretch first thing in the morning unless you've taken a shower first to warm your muscles up. And don't stretch when you've been sitting still for a while. Get up and move around a bit to get the blood circulating before you stretch. If you stretch when your muscles are cold, you're in danger of ripping muscle fibrils, and that hurts. And so that's not doing you any good. The general rule with stretching is you want to hold the stretch for a minimum of 15 seconds in order to get the relaxation response happening in the muscles and the tendons. And
I was just going to say, I just went on Amazon and found that there is a website for him called stretching.com, which has all the information about all of his books. He's written a few.
Right.
And his first book was apparently, this is the 30th anniversary of his first book.
Right, yeah. I'd like to also let you know that the latest research on stretching shows that it actually shows no benefit. There's no measurable benefit for people who do stretching, but there is an increased risk of injury, particularly, as I stated, if you're stretching when your body's cold. So stretching feels good. There's a big drive for yoga. It's a current trend. Of course, it comes from antiquity, but you need to be careful when you're doing stretching. Make sure you're warmed up.
Yeah, my chiropractor, several years ago, certainly since I moved to Washington State, said that stretching did no good at all and I shouldn't do it. Said it was dangerous, and you just confirmed that.
Yeah, now I don't want to diss anybody who's a big lover of yoga, because yoga is definitely about stretching, and yoga has many other benefits. But hopefully you get with a teacher who works gently and slowly and makes sure that you're warm. There's a trend for hot yoga, the Bikram yoga. And
correct.
They make the room very hot. So in those situations, you're doing much better. And another thing that I want to warn you about is oftentimes yoga instructors will come over and stretch you. And I would warn you to avoid letting anybody else stretch you. You need to be in your body. You need to be paying attention to your body. You need to be breathing into the spot where you're stretching.
I've seen that done on TV, where they have the exercise aspect of sports on your television, and I've seen instructors pushed the backs of people when they were bent over and all sorts of things in yoga moves.
Yeah, that's dangerous. I would recommend that you never allow anybody to push you into a stretch, because they could rip your muscles and tendons.
Well, I think that's great to know. I mean, the stretching in and of itself is not that great, as you're saying, and I think that's important because I see people when I'm working in the companies, I see people all the time getting up and stretching here and there, and that's not, what's the best thing for them to do? I mean, I know you have an offer for our listeners, and I appreciate that, but before we get to that, what is the best thing for somebody to do at their desk?
So as I mentioned, those Bob Anderson stretches are really good to do. Stretching your hands, stretching your face. And what I would suggest is get up and walk around your office or go to the bathroom and then come back and then do your stretches before you start again, so that you're increasing the circulation a bit before you do the stretches. But another thing is the ergonomics. A lot of us are now working off of laptops and iPads, things like that are small. So the ergonomics of working on those is bad, bad, bad. What you want to remember is the 90-degree rule. So as you work on a computer, it's best if your knees are at a 90-degree angles or a little more with your foot up on a little platform that can keep your ankles at a 90-degree angle. Your legs to your torso, your hip should be at a 90-degree angle, your shoulders should be at a 90-degree angle, and your elbows should be at a 90-degree angle as much as possible. And then the screen should be directly in front so that the top of the screen is no higher than your eyes would be if you were looking straight ahead from sitting up straight in this 90-degree position.
Okay, I have images of bunches of people listening to this episode and sitting up straight in their chairs and quickly looking for something to put their feet on so that they have their ankles at a 90-degree angle. I know.
Well, if your feet are on the floor, they can be at a 90-degree angle too. But there's also some evidence that if you recline, one of my patients, he worked on the computer all day long, and his setup was to get a recliner and put his legs up, and he put the keyboard on his lap. Now, that's not the best thing to do for a number of reasons, which I'll talk about in a moment. But he had support under his neck. His shoulders were totally relaxed. His hands were resting on his legs, and he just typed on the keyboard. So that was a very good position, as well as sitting up at the 90-degree angle. But people are getting very innovative. Some people are getting standing desks, and that makes a lot of sense. So changing your position when you're in pain is a strategy for success. So some people sit on those gym balls, and those make a lot of sense. There's also something called a fit sit or sit fit. I can't remember which one it is. I have dyslexia, I confess, so I often get those things twisted around, but that's a quick thing you can look on your computer. And it's an air-filled cushion that you sit on, and that's giving you micro movements. And so those little micro movements are ways to keep your spine flexible and limber during the day. Or sitting on a gym ball, and the gym ball should be as high as your knees are from the floor, sitting at this 90-degree angle. So you would need to adjust your keyboard and your screen in order to accommodate for that. Another option, one of my patients got a standing desk at her work, so she can sit down or she can elevate it and stand, and that's very helpful. So that helps to minimize the health risks of sitting all day if you're standing. And when you're standing, I would recommend getting a Rubbermaid, that's a name brand in the United States, type of mat, a thick rubbery cushion that you can stand on so that you relieve any tension. In Chinese medicine, they say if you stand all day, like I used to when I was a chiropractor, now I sit down sometimes when I'm working on people's necks or down by their legs. their feet, that you endanger your kidneys, that you wear out your kidneys. And if you sit all day, you endanger your pancreas.
Oh.
And particularly if you're getting those sugary sweet snacks or drinking beverages that speed you up, like Red Bull or a lot of coffee, those caffeinated beverages, it's like punching your adrenals. Your adrenals sit on top of your kidneys in your back, and it increases your cortisol levels, a stress hormone, which then increases your blood sugar levels. So you're slamming your body with those sweet snacks and caffeinated beverages throughout the day, and then you get a crash. And then, of course, you crave those again to give you a pickup, and then you crash again. So it's much healthier to avoid caffeinated beverages, maybe maximum of 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day. In a lot of the world, people drink caffeinated tea instead, and of course that's less caffeine than in coffee. So drinking that has less of a damaging effect. Actually, green tea can have some beneficial health effects. So if you're a fan of green tea, that's okay to drink throughout the day. But again, you want to look at equivalents and be careful not to have more than about 30 to 45 milligrams of caffeine a day. All these things can be researched on the internet.
I read somewhere, I don't know where, that our bodies were made to only lie down, stand, and squat, not made to sit. Is that something that you're aware of, or did I misread that? That our bodies are not made to be sitting? If
you're looking at paleo men and women, squatting, standing, and laying down is certainly the activities that they did, but there's also sitting cross-legged. That's a form of sitting, or the Japanese sitting with their calves folded underneath their thighs and buttocks. That's a traditional way of sitting. But sitting in a chair at a 90-degree angle is not great. So here's the pressure dynamics, When you're laying down, there's no millimeters of mercury pressure on your back. And we're talking particularly about the low back here. When you're standing, there's about 20 to 40 milligrams of mercury pressure on the discs in your low back. And when you're slouching, like a couch potato, there's 400 milligrams of mercury pressure on your back.
Good Lord.
If you're sitting and you're engaging your abdominal muscles, or as my patient did, reclining back in a recliner type of chair with his head and his spine fully supported, well, then you're in much better shape.
Okay.
Or, as I said before, those little fit sits and sitting on a gym ball.
Correct.
Those are ways to keep your back in motion. So that, again, decreases the negative effect of sitting.
Wow. Well, I know that people who are listening are going to want to know more about what you think and what you do and how you function as a chiropractor and a healer. And I want to remind people of your website address, which is Dr. Linda Berry, BERRY.com. And your best email address is drlindaberry@aol.com. And I'm looking here and I'm seeing all of the things that you have published. You've got some books on internal cleansing and CDs on breast health. But the one I'm really fond of, especially because of its title, is the Inner Smile Trilogy. Yeah. And I know that's available on your website at drlindaberry.com. And I want to know how you got your internal cleansing book translated into Korean.
Well, they approached me, and unfortunately it's not in print now. You might talk to your publishers, and if you're interested in having that published in your country. But they approached me. They said that there was a big interest in intestinal health, and I understand the same in Japan, big interest in intestinal health. And so they approached my publisher and wanted the rights to be able to translate it into Korean.
Wow. Well, I know that you have been on TV and radio all over, including NPR, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox News, and now the IT Professionals Community podcast.
Right.
So, what do you have for our listeners that they can get as a gift from you? I know you have something that you want to give to them.
Yeah, I do. And before I do that, I just wanted to clarify about my email address and my website. Doctor is not spelled out like the word doctor. It's DR. And my name, Linda, is spelled with an I. And Berry, as Joanne spelled it, is Berry. So drlindaberry@AOL.com and drlindaberry.com is my website with just the DR. So what I would like to offer you is a complimentary get out of pain breakthrough session. And what people tell me is that it helps them get a lot of clarity. We look at where you are now with your back and where you want to be. And then we take a look at what's getting in your way of getting it. So this is a conversation on phone or Skype. And I have a link on my website for you to sign up for that. So if you go to drlindaberry.com and scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll be able to click on that Get Out of Pain Now link and set up an appointment. I'd love to be able to help you get some clarity and give you some resources to support you so that you can have the life that you want and move forward professionally the way that you want. When you're in pain, it's hard to get ahead, isn't it?
It's very difficult to get ahead, and most people don't even realize how stuck they are with the pain their bodies experience.
That's right. People just sort of accept what is because they think that there's no solutions, but I offer solutions. I'm good at what I do, and I've been doing this for decades. People come to me to get out of pain, and we get success. So please take me up on this offer. My schedule is busy, so I have limited access, but I invite you to join me in a Get Out of Pain breakthrough session.
Well, we want to remind people who are listening that you worked with experts all over the world. You've worked with experts on meditation, trauma healing, nutrition, electromagnetic healing, chiropractic and body work so that you could receive the energy necessary to function in your capacity as a chiropractor and healer. And I think that more people should take advantage of, well, number one, they should take advantage of the free gift, and we really thank you for doing that. It's a Get Out of Pain Now breakthrough session. But with your years of experience, and experience is vital in this world to know what is right and what is wrong, what works, what doesn't, to get out of chronic pain.
Yes. Yeah, I was paralyzed, and of course, the medical profession saved my life, Joanne, but they didn't help me put my life together. It wasn't until I began to get advice from experts like me now who helped me to rebuild my life and to be able to get to the point where I am now. My physical therapist says that I wouldn't be where I am now without my electromagnetic energy device. I wouldn't be able to do all the things that I do. And so it's important to reach out to experts if you want to make a change.
Yeah, we don't know everything. I don't know everything, so I have to go to experts for help in what I am doing or trying to do in whatever part of my life that I'm dealing with at the time. And I hope most people who are listening realize the same thing. And Dr. Linda Berry, drlindaberry.com, is the expert. She can help you with your inside body, your outside body, depending on where you are in this world. You can have access to her on her website and get this Get Out of Pain Now breakthrough session.
Yes.
More words than I thought. But Get Out of Pain Now, just keep that in mind. Just look at Get Out of Pain Now, go to her website, and book a session. So let's see. Do I have any other questions for you? I don't think so right now, but I may have in the future, and I may call on you for another episode. How would you feel about that, Linda Berry?
Fantastic. We could look into the mental, emotional aspects of pain, or we could look into the biochemical aspects of pain. There are many different issues besides how you sit that relate to why you might be in pain.
Yes, I know the brain has a lot to do with it, and how one thinks is vital. Well, I want to thank Dr. Linda Berry for being here today. I'm very pleased and excited that she was able to come. I didn't tell anybody because I figured if they waited until the end to hear all this, but I met Dr. Berry many years ago, or several years ago, depending upon how you look at time, in San Rafael, California, when I was facilitating a workshop on getting your alternative healthcare practice moving forward. And I've remembered her till this day. And I thank you for being here, and join us on the next episode of IT Professionals Community Podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to AskJoanneVictoria.com and continue the conversation on my podcast page. And get a free copy of my book, The True Self Handbook, a guide to transform your life. That's AskJoanneVictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.